All right, welcome everyone. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most critical pieces of infrastructure in modern product development, the design system. If you're looking to apply human-centered design methodologies to solve real-world problems at scale, well, understanding this is absolutely non-negotiable. And let's be clear, this isn't just about aesthetics. It's about building a strategic asset that delivers efficiency, consistency, and ultimately, a way better product.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by shifting our mindset, really digging into why a design system is critical infrastructure. Then, we'll dissect its anatomy to see what makes one tick. From there, we get practical, building the foundation, making sure it's accessible, and this is a big one, learning how to keep the system alive and evolving. To wrap it all up, we'll connect the dots back to the bottom line, the real-world return on investment.
Okay, let's jump right in. The first and maybe the most important idea to get your head around is that a design system is not just a Figma file, it's not a UI kit. It is living, breathing infrastructure. Think of it as the actual blueprint for your entire digital product ecosystem.
I love this quote because it really gets to the heart of a system's true power. It's not just another design tool, it's a tool for organizational transformation. A great system really is like a Trojan horse. It gets inside, and it forces teams to align, to communicate, to build a shared language that results in truly cohesive products. It sparks cultural change.
So, what's actually in this blueprint? Well, as you can see, a design system is a living collection of guidelines, reusable components, and the code that powers them. It becomes the single source of truth, making sure that everyone, designers, developers, product managers, is building from the exact same set of plans.
And this slide just illustrates the before and after so perfectly. On the left, you've got the chaos that, let's be honest, many of us know all too well. Reinventing the wheel on every project, which just leads to a messy, fragmented user experience. And on the right, that's the goal, a streamlined workflow where consistency isn't an afterthought, it's the default.
All right, so we've established the why. Now, let's break down the what. What are the core components that actually make up a robust, scalable design system? Let's look under the hood.
You know, the foundation of any truly modern design system is built on design tokens. It's best to think of this as a three-tier system of logic. Primitives are your raw materials, like a specific hex code for blue. Then, semantics give that blue a job, like brand primary color. And this abstraction is the key. Why? Because if you rebrand, you only change the primitive token, and the semantic layer automatically updates everywhere it's used. It's incredibly powerful. And then, component tokens just give you even more granular control.
But hey, tokens are just one piece of the puzzle. A complete system also includes a component library full of pre-built, reusable elements. And just as important, it needs crystal clear documentation explaining the principles and how to use everything. And finally, a governance model. Basically, the rules for how the system lives and evolves. Trust me, without governance, the whole system will eventually fail.
Okay, time for the practical application. You don't just build a system in a vacuum. The very first step is always a deep, honest audit of what you already have. This is where you map out the existing chaos to create a real plan for consistency.
A professional audit always follows a structured process, and you can use this exact same framework. You start with discovery. Take a full inventory of every single component across all your products. Then, you analyze your foundational tokens, color, type, spacing, and you hunt for every inconsistency. You do the same thing for your components, looking for redundancies. And finally, you audit your documentation to find the gaps. And remember, the goal here isn't just to make a long list of problems. It's to create a prioritized roadmap for building your system.
Now, within that initial audit, there's one area that deserves its own special focus: accessibility. And let me be very clear, this is not a feature. It's not a nice-to-have. For any professional-grade product, accessibility has to be baked into the system's DNA from day one.
This quote from Airbnb's design lead is just so powerful. Your design system is going to scale whatever you put into it. It's that simple. So if you build in accessibility flaws at the component level, you're going to systematically scale those flaws across your entire product. But if you build in inclusivity from the start, you scale that instead.
And accessibility isn't some vague concept. It is quantifiable. Just take this number, 4.5 to 1. That's the minimum contrast ratio for text according to the WCAG AA standards. Every single color combination in your system has to be audited against clear metrics like this one. If a color token fails this test, then any component that uses it automatically inherits that failure.
Okay, this is your core audit checklist. Here's a mini project for you. Take this list and apply it to one of your own components right now.
Ask yourself, can you use it with only your keyboard? Is the focus state totally obvious? Is it built with semantic code so a screen reader can actually understand it? Are states like error communicated by more than just a splash of red? Answering these questions is what separates an amateur component from a professional, truly inclusive one.
So you've built the foundation. The work is done, right? No, absolutely not. This is the stage where most design systems fail. People treat them like a monument. They unveil it, and then they forget about it. A successful system is a garden that needs constant attention and cultivation.
And this slide lays out the two paths you can take. The bad loop is sadly all too common. A system is launched, but without any maintenance, new requirements lead to one-off solutions, the system starts to diverge from reality, and eventually it just gets abandoned. The good loop, on the other hand, treats the system like a product in itself, with a healthy cycle of building, using, maintaining, and evolving.
So how do you actually achieve that good loop? Well, the 3E framework is a great model to follow. First, you educate your teams on how and why to use the system. Second, you engage them by creating clear ways for them to give feedback and contribute. And third, you evolve the system with a predictable release schedule and clear communication about what's changing.
A really key tool for that evolution is a well-maintained changelog. Think of it as your central communication hub. Using clear categories like added or fixed helps people quickly see what's relevant to them. And, this is critical, adopting semantic versioning is a must. That major.minor.patch format immediately tells you the impact of a release. A major version means breaking changes, minor is for new features, and patch is for bug fixes. This tells your users at a glance how much attention they need to pay to any given update.
Finally, let's talk about the bottom line. A design system isn't just a best practice for your design and engineering teams, it is a strategic investment with a clear, quantifiable return. And this is how you get buy-in from leadership. And the data here is just so compelling. I mean, look at these metrics from Uber's implementation. A 300% increase in development velocity, a 50% reduction in their code base. These are game-changing numbers. And industry benchmarks show an average 34% bump in design efficiency alone. When you stop reinventing the wheel, your teams can finally focus on solving new, more complex problems. Let's translate that efficiency into actual dollars. The annual savings per designer can be over $100,000. The brand consistency it creates can boost revenue by up to 23%. It all boils down to this. For every single dollar you invest in building and maintaining a design system, you can expect a return of more than $7. Now that is an incredibly compelling business case to take to any stakeholder. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about your own practices. Is your system a static monument that's just gathering dust and slowly becoming irrelevant? Or is it a living, breathing garden that you and your teams actively cultivate to help your products and your business thrive? The choice you make there really determines its ultimate success.